Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP today. Following the dramatic collision between Francesco Bagnaia and Alex Márquez at the Aragon MotoGP, Simon Crafar, the newly appointed chairman of the panel of commissioners for the 2025 MotoGP season, has shared his thoughts on the incident. While the current stewards deemed the crash a racing incident, Crafar's analysis suggests a different perspective, raising questions about how race decisions may evolve under his leadership. Gigi Dall'Igna, general manager of Ducati Corse, shared his thoughts on a weekend of mixed emotions at the Aragon Grand Prix. While Marc Márquez secured a dominant victory for Ducati, Francesco Bagnaia's unfortunate retirement after a crash with Alex Márquez put a damper on the event for the team. As Ducati now shifts its focus to Misano, Dall'Igna highlighted the triumphs and challenges from Aragon. As the MotoGP paddock heads to Misano for the highly anticipated San Marino and Rimini Riviera Grand Prix, Francesco Bagnaia is gearing up for his home race. Fresh off a challenging weekend in Aragon, where he was involved in a crash, the reigning world champion is focused on both his recovery and his performance at the Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli. While not fully recovered physically, Bagnaia is determined to deliver a strong showing in front of his home crowd. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Simon Crafar, a former 500 cubic centimeters rider and soon-to-be chairman of the MotoGP stewards panel, believes that Alex Márquez was at fault for the crash with Francesco Bagnaia at Aragon. In a statement to MotoGP.com, Crafar explained that Márquez's decision to brake hard into the corner led to the collision, as he attempted to maintain his position rather than allowing Bagnaia, who was already ahead, to pass cleanly. Alex Márquez braked in the corner, so he didn't want to give up his position. Pecco was ahead, and Alex should have given up. Quote from Simon Crafar. According to Crafar, the decisive moment came when both riders approached the corner at high speed, with Bagnaia clearly ahead. In his view, Márquez could have avoided the accident by briefly cutting the throttle and backing off, a decision that would have likely prevented the collision. Crafar emphasized that the rider behind, Márquez in this case, needed to yield to Bagnaia's advantage. When they accelerate into the next corner, the rider behind has to back off, Crafar told by Motosan. Crafar also highlighted the difficult grip conditions at the newly resurfaced Motorland Aragon circuit, noting that Bagnaia had no choice but to maintain his line to avoid going off track or crashing. Straightening his bike to accommodate Márquez would have pushed Bagnaia into the dirty part of the track, increasing the risk of losing control. Bagnaia had to take the corner decisively. If you straighten the bike to make room for the rider behind, then you go off track or even crash. Crafar further speculated that Bagnaia, if placed in Márquez's position, would likely have handled the situation differently. He praised Bagnaia's racecraft and suggested that the reigning champion would have opted to abandon his position, preparing for a counterattack instead of risking a collision. 9 times out of 10, Pecco would have abandoned his position and accepted being overtaken. He would then have prepared himself to be able to launch a counterattack, Crafar concluded. Simon Crafar's analysis of the Bagnaia-Márquez crash at Aragon offers insight into how future MotoGP incidents may be judged under his tenure as chairman of the panel of commissioners. With a focus on strategic decision-making and minimizing risks, Crafar's approach could shape a new direction for race adjudication in the 2025 season. As the MotoGP paddock reflects on this incident, all eyes will be on how upcoming races and battles on track are handled under his stewardship. The standout of the weekend was Marc Márquez, who delivered a masterclass in both the sprint race and the main Grand Prix. Márquez, riding for the Gresini team, was flawless throughout, starting from pole and dominating every session, except for Sunday's warm-up, where he had minimal participation. The victory was not only his first with Ducati but also ended a long drought of wins for the Spaniard. In a very complicated weekend due to the conditions of the new asphalt of the Aragonese track, an extraordinary Marc Márquez triumphed, who rode with a disarming naturalness and confidence, crystalline class applied to a determination worthy of a steamroller. Quote from Gigi Dall'Igna. Jorge Martin also performed admirably, securing 2 crucial second-place finishes, which helped him extend his lead in the championship standings. However, the weekend was bittersweet for the Ducati camp due to Bagnaia's crash. Despite a difficult start to the weekend, Bagnaia was on track for a podium finish before an incident with Alex Márquez on lap 18 forced both riders out of the race. Dall'Igna expressed disappointment at the missed opportunity for Bagnaia but refrained from delving into the controversy surrounding the crash, which was ruled a racing incident by the stewards. It is really a shame to lose such valuable points, and it is even more so because of the way it happened. After the vicissitudes of the weekend, our champion was on the verge of regaining the podium with the tenacity of someone who never gives up. Despite the setbacks, Dall'Igna is keen to move forward and focus on the upcoming San Marino Grand Prix at Misano. Ducati remains in a strong position in the championship, and Dall'Igna emphasized the need to stay positive as the season enters its decisive phase. With the team racing on home soil and the passionate Ducati fan base in attendance, there's plenty of motivation to bounce back. We are entering the crucial phase of the World Championship adventure, in which we must remain positive and focused. Now we say hello to Misano and look forward to all our wonderful fans for a weekend under the Ducati banner. Dall'Igna concluded. As Ducati heads to Misano, the Aragon Grand Prix serves as a reminder of both the highs and lows that come with racing. Marc Márquez's return to form gives the team plenty to celebrate, while Bagnaia will be eager to put the Aragon crash behind him as he prepares for his home race. Stay tuned for more updates as the Ducati team gears up for an exciting weekend at Misano. The San Marino Grand Prix holds special significance for Francesco Bagnaia, who hails from Pesaro, just a few kilometers from the Misano circuit. Despite not being fully recovered from his recent crash in Aragon, Bagnaia is excited to race at home. He acknowledges the physical toll of the accident, but remains optimistic about his chances of competing without major issues. I'm really happy to be racing at Misano this weekend. The San Marino Grand Prix is always very exciting. I'll be racing just a few kilometers from home, and I'm sure there will be a lot of fans supporting us. Physically, I'm not at 100% yet, but I'm working to be able to race without too many problems. Quote from Francesco Bagnaia. Bagnaia's return to form at Misano comes after a tough outing at the Aragon Grand Prix, where he was involved in a race-ending crash. Despite the setback, the Ducati rider remains second in the championship standings, trailing Jorge Martin by just 23 points. The reigning world champion knows the importance of this race, not only for the points but for the support he will receive from the passionate local fans. We know we have great potential on this track, and it will be essential to do a good job from the start to be competitive, Bagnaia told. Bagnaia's teammate, Enea Bastianini, is equally excited to return to Misano, where he will be racing in front of his home crowd in Rimini. After a challenging weekend in Aragon, Bastianini finished fifth and is looking forward to bouncing back at Misano, where he secured his first Premier Class podium in 2021. Bastianini is currently fourth in the standings, just 1 point behind Marc Márquez. Racing here is always something special. I grew up just a few kilometers from this circuit, so I consider it my home race. Compared to last week, I hope to find a better feeling at Misano. Quote from Enea Bastianini. Both Bagnaia and Bastianini will have the unwavering support of Ducati fans, especially at the Ducati grandstand located at Cova del Carro. The home advantage and the backing of local fans will undoubtedly be a major boost for the Ducati Lenovo team as they aim for strong results in the 14th Grand Prix of the season. It will be important to be fast from Friday and then do well in qualifying. We will give it our all, and I can't wait to race in front of all our fans, Bastianini concluded. As Francesco Bagnaia works to overcome his physical setbacks and Enea Bastianini looks to regain his form, both riders are poised for a thrilling weekend at Misano. The San Marino and Rimini Riviera Grand Prix promises to be an exciting chapter in the 2024 MotoGP season, with Bagnaia determined to close the gap in the standings and Bastianini eager to shine on home soil. Stay tuned for more updates as the action unfolds at the Misano World Circuit. Thanks for watching ZNGP today. This is your MotoGP news update. See you in the next video.